Hello everyone. I hope this email finds you healthy. I'm sure it finds you at home since we're all kind of in lockdown for the next couple of days. My hope is that a little bit of breath work, a little bit of mindfulness, a little bit of movement together, even if it is through a screen, can bring us the sense of connection and normalcy that I think we're all craving for in these sort of crazy times. So this will be about a 45-minute video for my Yoga for Seniors clientele. So we are doing a bit of work on the chair. We'll do some standing postures, and then we'll also do some floor work. The props that I'll be using are, like I said, a chair. It doesn't have to look exactly like this chair. It can be anything where you can sit comfortably with your knees about 90 degrees. And then we'll use some blocks. We'll use the strap, and we'll also use a blanket. If you don't have a blanket or these props, we can always modify. You can have a beach towel or any other kind of blanket. Any kind of strap works, and then, the blocks, if you don't have any at home, again, you can use maybe more blankets to stack up to help you. So anyway, because I want to make sure that this video is as normal as possible in terms of what a regular class looks like, I want to first bring Bella. Come Bella. She's obviously here with me. She's always with us at our Yoga for Senior classes, and definitely brings a bit of grounding to any space. So I wanted to, let me just encourage her here for a second. I wanted to make sure that you all got to see her. She's here with me, supporting me, and from afar supporting all of you. So anyway, hi, says Bella, and now we'll let her go back to her meditation in her bed, and we'll get started. So go ahead and get comfortable in your seat. Make sure your feet are rooted on the floor. We want about a 90-degree angle here on the knees. Feet are about hip-width distance. You have a lot of weight equally on each sit bone. And from that strong lower body foundation, find some length. So lifting up through the crown of the head as if you had a string attached to the crown of your head and you were being pulled up so that the chin stays parallel to the ground. Shoulders are going to be nice and relaxed. So no need to bring them forward or back, to simply allow the elbows to feel heavy and just come down by the sides of the body. Palms comfortably on the legs, wherever they land is fine. And then let's just take a couple breaths here. Get settled in. Closing the eyes, if that feels comfortable for you. We're going to inhale for length. And exhale for release and surrender. Inhale for length, giving the body some structure, and exhale, just letting it all go. So 3 more breaths like this, trying to occupy the full space of your lungs, and then release fully and completely before taking in your next breath. One more, just like that. Big inhale. Big exhale. You can flutter the eyes open. Keep a nice soft gaze here. Inhale, adding the arms, taking the arms out and up. Reach them up. Allow the fingertips to reach up tall while maintaining the shoulders down and away from ears. Exhale, arms back, out and down. Again, inhale out and up, lengthening through the sides of the body. Exhale, arms down. One more just like that. Big inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, taking the arms down. Good. Bringing hands to heart center here. And give yourself just a brief moment to find gratitude. So I find that in difficult times or times of uncertainty, it's really nice to get rooted in the things that are going well for you. So just taking a moment here, maybe just the first thing that comes to mind that you're grateful for, bring it to mind. Let's take a big breath in and out. And then bring the hands back over to your thighs. Now, we want to keep the lower body steady as we move on to some twists here. So if you have blocks, it can be really helpful to grab one and place it right in between the legs. So keep squeezing onto that block, keeping everything steady. Inhale, breathe the arms up. On the exhale, twist over towards your right. So opening the arms out, twisting from the spine, the upper body, not the hips. Inhale, breathe up. Exhale, twist left. Good, 2 more like that on each side. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist left. 1 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. And exhale, left. Good, bringing the hands all the way up over the head, interlacing fingers here. You're gonna flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Again, relax the shoulders down and away from your ears. Big breath in. Keep left sit bone rooted as you bend towards your right. Make your way back up, bend towards the left. Come back to center. Keep the interlace of the fingers and see if you can paint circles on the ceiling with those palms. You're kind of going around like you were painting a halo over your head. Trying to get the rib cage to move. Yeah, and then opposite direction. And 1 more here. Good, and then taking the interlaced hands behind your head, bending the elbows. This is more of a lift than a back bend, so I want you to open the elbows, press the head back gently, but mainly focus on lifting up through the collarbones, creating a nice big stretch here through the front of the body, the heart space, a little back bend. Good. And then coming back to center. You can release the block here if you've had it. Continuing to warm up through the upper body, taking the right arm nice and heavy along the sides of the body, and taking some big swimmer circles. So just isolating movement in this joint. Not forcing anything, just moving as fluidly as possible. And then we'll switch directions. We'll complete 1 more circle. And then take that same right arm, lift it all the way up. You're gonna bend the elbow so that you're tapping your back here. The right elbow is pointing straight up towards the ceiling, getting a bit of a tricep stretch here, and then taking your opposite hand to add to that stretch above the head. Breathe into that. Good, and we're gonna release that down. Other side, allow the left arm to just dangle here freely, and then taking some circles up and back. Notice that this side might feel different than the first. We're trying to notice things with compassion without judgment. There's no such thing as good or bad. It just is. Taking the circles in the opposite direction here. We'll complete 1 more big circle. Good. And then we're going to take that left arm right back up, bend at the elbow, patting your back here, elbow points straight up, and then taking your opposite hand just to enhance the stretch a little. Another breath in and out. Good. And then release. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit more loosey-goosey through the upper body. We'll do 1 more thing. If you have a strap with you, a belt, any kind of belt would work too. We're just gonna use it to create some tension between the arms to stretch through the chest. So I'm gonna grab my strap. If you have a long strap, you can double it up so that you don't have so much of it dangling to either side. Again, feet are gonna stay about hip width distance, creating that strong foundation in the lower body. Nice wide grip here, so wider than the hips. We want the elbows to be straight-ish, so we're never locking out the joints. We're also not using a bent elbow technique here. So lifting the strap up over the head, and then so just start sensing for where it feels like a really yummy stretch, but it's not painful and it doesn't feel forced. So some of you might be able to go farther than others, that's okay. It's not about that, it's about the sensation, the opening this is creating. Once you find your sweet spot, we'll start moving in and out of this with breath. So let's bring the strap back down. And here we go. Inhale, lift up, open up through the heart. Exhale, come down. 3 more. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, up and back. And down. And we'll do that one more time. Lifting up and back. And down. Good. We're just going to release the strap off to the side. We'll use it later. Start working a little bit on the lower body here. So first things first, the hips. We're going to take a figure 4 here. If this is accessible to you. You'll take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. Again, creating a figure 4, flexing through the right toes. We're going to start with some ankle circles here. So just moving the ankle around, checking in, maybe hearing things crackle and pop, and then opposite direction. And mindful that as we work the lower body, we're keeping the structure, the length in the upper body. So always working on posture. Good, and then pausing here. Take a big breath in, lengthen, and without rounding the spine, start bringing chest closer, collarbones closer to your shin bone. Or maybe it's more like belly to your shin. So you're stretching that right hip by bringing yourself a little bit closer. And then once you've, again, hit that place where you're feeling strong sensation, but it's sustainable, you'll maybe close your eyes and breathe into that space. Good, lifting yourself back up. Go ahead and cross the leg completely over. If this is not comfortable for you, you'll get the same exact benefit of what we're going to do next if you have your feet together and your knees together. So either way, taking a seated eagle pose here. So your legs are crossed, now the arms. Taking the arms forward, take your right arm under the left. Make sure you're crossing at the elbows or above the elbows. Option 1, grab onto opposite shoulders. You'll keep the elbows lifted and try to create some tension between the elbows so that you feel an opening in the upper back. Option 2, elbows stay crossed, fingertips point up towards the ceiling, and you maybe take this second bind here. Again, elbows lifted, hands away from the face. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Good, and then releasing the hands down. Keep the legs crossed. Make sure you're, actually I should have said this before, but we want to be practicing sitting forward on the chair. So we're not super close to the back of the chair, so you have room behind you. Take the right hand behind you, reach for the back of your chair. Inhale, left fingertips up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, take your twist. Left palm open against the knees, using that as leverage to twist. Just again from the upper body, not the hips. Good, coming back to center here. We're going to uncross the legs, and we're going to lift heels and lift toes, lift heels and lift toes. As fast or as slow as feels good. And then we're going to tap out the feet. And then wiggle out the arms. Onto the next side. Okay, feet hip width distance again. This time the left ankle crossing over the right knee. Flexing through those toes. Again, figure 4, it's not knee over knee yet. I'm going to take some circles here with your left ankle. So again, keeping the posture nice and strong by lifting up through the crown of the head, keeping the shoulders relaxed, face relaxed, smile, that always helps. Opposite direction. We tend to think that our emotions drive our physical, the expressions of our physical body, right? Like if you're happy, you smile, and if you're feeling excited and light, you're gonna be taking up a lot of room, and if you're feeling stressed, you're all tight. But it works the other way around too. So if you force yourself to smile, you'll actually feel happier. And if you're feeling stressed and you consciously relax your body, relax your stance, it will actually help you also mentally relax. So anyway, I digress. It's time to fold forward. So keeping the left foot flexed, inhale, lift for length in the spine, and then keeping the spine nice and long, begin to shift forward. Yeah, feeling that stretch in any intensity that serves you today in the left hip and breathing into it. Slowly lifting back up. Taking your leg and crossing it completely over if that's accessible to you. If not, feet together, knees together is perfectly fine. And from here, taking the eagle arms. So taking the arms forward, this time the left arm is going to go under the right. Again, option one, opposite shoulders. Option two, fingertips point towards the ceiling and you take that second bind. Important to keep the elbows lifted, hands away from the face, and then create tension. Imagine you were splitting those elbows out to either side. That tension is going to give you the space in the upper back. 2 more breaths here. Good, and release the arms, keeping the lower body as is, taking our twist here. Taking the left hand behind you, reaching for the chair. Inhale the right arm up for length. On the exhale, taking your twist. So again, you want the shoulders to start rotating towards the left side. Twist is coming from the upper body and not the hips. Good, and then swinging yourself back around, coming back to your comfortable seat here. And we're gonna start making our way up to standing. So go ahead and lift up. The way that I'm gonna set up so that you can see me is sort of sideways. What you're gonna do is take your chair and then set it up towards the very top of your mat. And you're gonna have the higher part of the chair facing you. And we're using this for balance and also to help us with our stretch here. Adding a little bit of resistance. So first, we're gonna do a little bit of strength. So bringing a gentle bend to the knees. We're gonna lift, so really engaging the calf muscle, and then come down. And then lift and come down. And if you're really working on your balance and you feel particularly steady, you could always try this without the hands on the chair. We're gonna do 5 more. So lift and down, and lift and down. Really lifting those heels all the way up. I may have lost count. We're gonna do 2 more, and lift and down, and 1 more, and down. Hands back to the chair. We're gonna stretch that out. Step your right foot back, bending through the left knee. I want you to take a pretty big step back. So as you bend through the left knee, that left knee doesn't go over the toes. And then you start pressing back through the right heel. So straight right leg, creating a diagonal with your body here. Two more breaths. And then slowly start straightening through that left leg, sending the hips back. And then you can start lowering the chest here, maybe bringing forearms to the back of the chair. It's important to Don't try to go lower if that means rounding. Okay, we want to keep the spine nice and long because most of our lives these days we spend with our spine rounded. So we want to do the opposite here. And imagine both sit bones are pushing back in the same amount, so they're nice and square. Now we're going to bend back into that left knee, hands to the chair, lift up through the right heel, and we're going to take a warrior two. So you're going to pivot your back foot open. So I'm going to show you that move, and then I'm going to turn around so I can actually look at you when we continue. So you're going to spin the back foot and open up into warrior two. Okay, so you just stay right there. I'm just going to spin this around so that you can see me. So the right leg is straight, the left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Now watch this left knee. A lot of times this knee kind of comes forward towards the big toe side. We want to make sure it's tracking right over the second and third toes. And if keeping that knee over those toes instead of drawing in is not accessible to you, I want you to look at your back foot. Instead of having it parallel to the back of your mat, I want you to bring it in so everything can sort of go a little more forward. That's much better than trying to force this to open and having the knee fall in. So anyway. All right, so nice wide stance here. Arms are out, shoulders are relaxed. We're happy to be in this warrior two. Traditionally, your gaze would be over your left hand. And then we're gonna add a little movement. So we're gonna inhale, straighten the left knee, reach the arms up. Exhale, press down. Two more. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, press down. One more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, press down. Keep that left knee bent. Flip from palm. Reverse the warrior. So we're reaching up and back. Feeling the stretch in the left side of the ribs. Relax your right shoulder. Maybe look up at the ceiling. Maybe forward, wherever the gaze is most comfortable. But keep bending into that left knee. Good. Now we're going to straighten the left leg, bringing the hands back to that warrior two position. Both legs are straight, moving to triangle pose. Option one, top of the chair. You'll start bending your elbow as you tilt down. Right arm reaches straight forward. Straight up, palm facing me. Option two, left hand goes all the way down to the seat of the chair. But again, we don't want to be falling in. We want to rotate the ribs up and back. And then reaching that right arm straight towards the ceiling. Feels good, right? Hopefully. Bending back into that left knee, bringing yourself back to that warrior two. Hands to your hips. Once again, straighten that left leg. And now pivot your left foot so that it's parallel to the right, and then heel slightly in. So here, we're gonna do a couple of what I call plie squats. Reminds me of my old days in dance class. So we're gonna bend the knees here. Tailbone goes straight down. Good, and we're gonna hold. You're gonna hug the belly button up and in. Good. And from here, we're gonna take the right forearm down to the right thigh, and then reach up and over. Keep the knees nice and bent, other way. Left forearm on the left thigh, reaching up and over. We'll just do that one more time on each side. So right, and then leaning to the left. I know those legs are working. Coming back to center, lifting back up by straightening the legs. Now toes point completely forward. A block here might be helpful. We're going to our forward fold or wide-legged fold. Knees can bend as much as feels good here. As you start hinging at the hips, hands either to the floor or the mat or a block. And then I want you to really work on relaxing head and neck. Maybe shaking the head side to side, yes and no. Maybe adding a bend to one knee and straightening the other, and then switching sides. And take 3 more breaths, however you'd like in this forward fold. Good, bend the knees, bring a little more weight in the heels, and then start lifting yourself back up. Good, and then you can heel toe your feet back together. And we're gonna do all of this on the other side. So, I'm actually gonna move my chair back. You just stay where you are here. All right, so now, big step with the left foot. Starting with our stretch here, bending the right knee, pressing back through the left heel. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. And maybe leaning a little forward, so you're creating that diagonal from the left heel all the way up through the crown of the head. And then slowly begin to straighten that right leg, pressing that left heel a little farther down. Option to start bringing the chest closer to the chair. If that's accessible to you, bringing forearms down, keeping the spine nice and long, or maybe even reaching for the seat of the chair. But again, try not to round into the spine at this time. So shoulders away from ears. Bending back into that right knee, lifting up through the left heel and opening up, warrior 2 on this side. So you might need to again adjust. You want that front heel bisecting that back arch. Nice wide stance here to support you, bending the right knee. Again, mindful that the knee doesn't drop in towards the big toe side. And then once you're ready, stacking shoulders over hips. Really energetically reaching out through opposite arms, but maintaining a sense of ease in the body, so we're not like rigid, okay? And then adding movement here. Inhale, straighten and lift arms. Exhale, bend and press down. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. You got it. Exhale, holding the right knee down. Flip from palm, reverse the warrior. This time stretching through the right side of the ribs. Keep bending through that right knee. Sliding the left hand down. Good. And from here, straightening through the right leg, coming to our Trikonasana triangle pose here. So either bringing the right hand to the chair, lifting the left arm up, and then bending the elbow as you lean down. Or maybe taking the right hand all the way down to the seat. But again, checking in with your ribs. We want to be lifting them up and back. Palm faces me. Like you wanted to give me a high five through the screen. Good. Bending into the right knee again. Lifting back up into your warrior 2. Good. And this time bringing both hands back to the chair. And we're going to just step forward here. Good. I'm going to have you flip the chair so that the seat of the chair is facing you. And we can do just a couple of things, couple balancing things. So hands to the hips here. We're going to just start shifting the weight side to side, stepping the right foot onto the chair and down, left foot onto the chair and down. If the chair is too high up, just simply lifting to wherever you can. Also works if you don't have a chair. Good. And then we're going to leave the right foot on the chair. Get yourself situated here. Hips, knees, ankle, everything's going to stay forward. We're going to sweep the arms up high. On the exhale, twist towards your right knee. So opening up. Inhale, reach back up. And bring everything back down. Other Sweeping the arms up, and then on the exhale, twisting open towards your left knee. Good, inhale back up. Bring the left foot down. This time you're gonna bend your knees, bring your hands all the way down to the sides of the chair here. We're gonna walk ourselves back to a chair downward facing dog. So walking your feet back. Once you stop, you're gonna bend your knees pretty deeply so you can really send the sit bones back as you start dropping your head in between the arms. So you're going for big length here through the spine, ears between the elbows, sit bones pressing back. Also feel a stretch along the back of the legs. Good, and then staying right here, we're gonna start lifting up the chest, straightening the legs, and then leaning forward to our chair plank pose. So here I have to adjust a little, wiggling the feet around so I can lift heels up, stack shoulders right over the wrists, hug belly button up and in, strengthening through the arms. This part is absolutely optional. And then once again, sending the hips up and back into my downward facing dog. Good, and then walking yourself back up. And lifting up, relax the shoulders down. Great. We're gonna take this down to the floor. So I'm gonna move my chair off to the side. And first thing we're gonna do is grab our blanket, if you have one, or beach towel, or comforter, or whatever, or dog bed. We're gonna come down to a seat. If you have blocks, or again, kind of thick pillows might help if you don't have them yet. I'm gonna come into a butterfly pose here. So soles of the feet together, blocks supporting the knees if you've got them. Inhale, lifting up through the crown of the head. And on the exhale, beginning to maybe walk those fingertips forward. Again, it's not about going lower. We're slowly feeling into the stretch. Keeping the face relaxed. And bringing our minds back to our physical bodies if they've already moved on to other things. Like where you might go look for toilet paper. Lifting back up. Great. You're going to keep your left knee wherever it is. And then you're going to extend your right foot out to the right. Okay? Doesn't have to be this huge, big straddle. Just wherever it comfortably can go. That's a little bit more in a diagonal, not straight in front of you. Take a big breath in, and then once again, start walking yourself forward to feel that stretch. And again, it doesn't have to be folding fully forward. We're going to lift back up. Taking a little side bend. I'm going to use the block. Block inside of the right knee. I'm going to drop the right forearm down. Roll that left shoulder back, and then reach the arm up and over. So be careful that you're not dumping down into this right shoulder. You're creating some space between the ear and the shoulder and finding a lot of length here through the left side. Good. And we're going to make our way back up. I'm going to switch sides. So bending into the right knee and extending out through the left. Big breath in, lengthen. Exhale, walk yourself forward. find yourself grinding your teeth or clenching, then maybe we need to modify whatever we're doing to the physical body, because it clearly doesn't feel good. And make your way back to center. Good. We're gonna bring the knees in, and now we're gonna lay down on our backs. I'll need to spin around. I don't know how you were sitting, but basically now we're gonna be using the length of the mat. You're always welcome to use a blanket to support your head and neck. Make sure it's not rolled up too thick, where then it crunches your chin down, okay? So a little bit of support is fine, but we don't want a big lift. And you also want your props near you. If you have a strap, bring that near you. If you have blocks, bring that near you. If not, you can also do this without the props. So we're gonna lay down. Knees are gonna be bent here. And when we bend our knees, ponytail in the way. When we bend our knees, we can actually relax the low back. So we can literally feel the entire length of the spine supported on the mat. So imagine you were tilting your tailbone just a little to flatten the natural curve of your spine just for a moment to find length. And then let everything return back to normal. All right, from here, moving on to a few dynamic bridges, which means we're going to be moving up and down with breath. You can choose to have a block in between the thighs. I tend to like that, but not necessary. Feet are about hip width distance. Make sure the heels are close enough to you that you can use the strength of your legs to lift up your hips. We're going to do 5. So on your inhale, lifting the hips, lifting the arms. On the exhale, lowering the hips, lowering the arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good. You're going to take your block underneath your sacrum for a restorative bridge. Blanket, rolled up blanket also works. Big pillow also works. So you're going to lift. I'm going to choose to have the block on the flattest, lowest setting here. You're going to lift and you're going to place it under your hips. So the sacrum is that bony triangle at the base of your spine. It's not in your low back. So this should feel pretty good. I know good's a relative term, but just make sure there's no pain. Nothing feels like it's jamming into your low back. Allow the arms to relax. Palms facing up. That gives the shoulders access to open. And just breathe. Take one more big breath in and out. Lift the hips, take the block out to the side, gently roll yourself all the way back down. Now we're going to bring the knees in, give yourself a nice big hug. And you can interlace fingers around your shins, you can sway side to side, you can create little circles here with your knees to release the low back, maybe the opposite direction as well. And we're going to go into our twists here. So we're going to open the arms either fully out or cactus arms. Just keep the shoulder blades rooted. And then we're going to allow the knees to drop to the right. Now, a block or a blanket or a bolster might be really useful so that if the bottom right knee doesn't go all the way down,
support it with a block or a bolster. So placing that prop underneath the right knee. You can always close the eyes here. Slowly begin to bring your knees back up to center. Give yourself a breath here to neutralize. Big inhale and exhale. And then we take the knees over to the other side. Again, using a block underneath the left knee or a blanket. Or if it goes all the way down, that's okay too. You don't have to use a prop. Slowly bringing your knees back up, and this time allow the feet to come down onto the mat. So last stretch we'll do before Shavasana. Take your strap if you have it. And then we're gonna loop the strap around the right toe mounds, kick up to the ceiling, through the heel, and then very gently, so without a death grip here on the strap, allow your hands to just slide down. So elbows rest comfortably on the mat, upper body's relaxed. You can flex through the toes here, so you're really emphasizing that length in the back of the leg. If you don't have a strap, you can also just interlace fingers behind your thigh and actively kick up through the right heel. So that works too. We're going to switch sides. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is just keep the strap in the hands and then switch your feet. Bringing that right foot down, kicking up through the left heel. Again, elbows, shoulders, upper body relaxed. Really pressing the heel up and keeping the big toe mound and little toe mound even. Sometimes one goes up more than the other and it just gives you an unequal stretch, uneven stretch. Or you can even play around with that to see what happens, where you feel a stretch when they're not even. And we'll slowly start bending the knee, taking the strap off to the side. You'll give yourself one final hug here, and it can be knees closed, or it can be happy baby, grabbing onto your big toe mounds, opening the knees outside to side, or grabbing the sides of the feet, or maybe even grabbing the knees, whatever feels good. And then for Shavasana, you can of course take the more traditional Shavasana, extending the legs out. If you have a blanket, maybe using that to add a little weight and grounding to the upper body. You can also roll it up and place it under your knees. If you're near your chair or the wall, a really nice way to end practice will be to scoot yourself sideways close to the wall and then kind of swing yourself around so that the legs can rest on the wall. Keep a little bend in your knees here, so we don't want to lock out the joints, cut off the circulation. A little baby bend here, and then softening. So you don't want to be using any effort, no muscles engaged here. Allowing the wall to do the work. and giving those feet a break. So you stay in whichever shape you've decided to take for Shavasana. I'm going to come out of it so I can guide you in some breath work and meditation. Eyes are closed here. And start bringing all of your awareness to the rise and fall of the belly and chest. I'm going to guide you today through the breath of the seasons, because it is a nice reminder that everything continues to change. Everything is temporary. So these times are not particularly pleasant, but know that they will change. And even when things are amazing, there's no need to get attached, because things will also change after that. So on your inhale, we're going to bring feelings of spring into the mind. So imagine a vine growing out through the length of your spine. As you hold at the top of the inhale, bring to mind summer. Everything is full. Your body is completely full of breath, of energy. In the exhale, imagine the fall, leaves gently dropping down from the trees. There's a general sense of letting go, release. And at the bottom of the exhale, when the body is fully empty, imagine winter. There's nothing there, but it's on purpose. It's so that then we can inhale for spring and start new again. Holding at the top of the inhale for summer, enjoying that fullness. Exhaling for fall, learning to relax, detach, let go. And holding and appreciating the emptiness of winter, because it allows us to begin again. So one more time, inhaling for spring. Holding the breath for summer, enjoying the fullness, the ripeness of the season. Exhale for fall, release and let go. And hold for winter. Take 2 or 3 more rounds at your own pace. Of course, you're in the comfort of your own home, so you can choose to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. You can pause the video here and just give yourself a nice luxurious rest. Or if you're ready to start coming back to your day, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe lifting the arms up over the ears, full body stretch wherever you may be. And then hands coming back into the body as you roll over to your right or left side. Lingering there, once again bringing to mind gratitude for something. Maybe just for having this practice as a tool for you to get through tough times. I mean, this is really, really, the kind of time when the real yoga begins. Finding gratitude in what your body does for you. And sending gratitude to all of those who normally practice with you and wishing them well.
back to a comfortable seat here. Again, any comfortable seat. You might even go back onto your chair. Once again, rooting through the sit bones, softening through the middle body, softening through the shoulders, softening through the face. Taking one big breath in, sighing it out. Hands come to heart center. Thank you all so much for being part of my family, for tuning in and for supporting us through this hard time. I think we'll all be much better off if we remember that we're really not alone. We might be physically isolated, but we are really connected, and this is the time to, really embrace that connection that we have to one another and support one another in any way possible. So, from my heart to yours, and Bella's, she's off sleeping somewhere, continuing her Shavasana.